This is the second screencast looking at the fast feedback system that's been developed by Loughborough College. Now, in the previous screencast we set the spreadsheet up ready for recording our grades, and I've come in here and I've got the same spreadsheet. I've just added an additional student just to show how the thing would work. Now if we wanted to, we could enter data directly into this spreadsheet. So if people like working directly into a grid, they could do that. Now in the assessor column we'd actually need to put our Google email address. Sub 1 date is the date of the first submission, so we'd enter the date there, overall grade, and then you've got 4 boxes: tutor feedback, areas for development, strengths, and English and math skills. So that's where we can identify sort of textual feedback. And then there is the columns for the criteria that we identified earlier. And in here we enter the letters Y for yes, for achieved, N for not achieved, or NA if for any reason it's not applicable. Now, you could enter information directly into the grid, and some people might prefer that, or you have another option. If you go back to the Fast Feedback System menu and you go to the Show Data Entry form, what this will do is it will bring up a more user-friendly document that looks a little bit like the way the final output will work. And it will start off with the first student in the list, and it will pull their name and out of the table. It will automatically identify who you are and put you in as the assessor. You can then enter the date. You can give it an overall final grade, and then you can choose which criteria have been achieved using the options that are here, and you can just slide that down to do that. What we can then do is we can enter text into the box, so we can put feedback can be entered here. Now we haven't got a huge amount of formatting options at this stage. We can format it later. All we can do is use the enter key to kind of create line breaks if you want to add more text. So that's the only formatting you can do here, but as I said, we can do that later. And then you can enter information for areas where they need to develop, and strengths, and obviously you'd normally type a bit more, and English and maths skills. Okay, once you've done the first student, what you can then do is you can click on this arrow here to take you to the next one. It will automatically save what you've done, and you can do the same again with that student, and you can just work your way through the list. Once you get to the final student in your list, when you click on that button, it will actually close the window down. And you'll notice that it's now filled in the grid with the information that you have entered in that sort of more user-friendly sheet. Once you have got the information in your grid, we've then got other options here. We need to generate feedback sheets. So these are the actual sheets that will go to the students. Now you can either do it individually by student, in which case you just click on the any of the rows and it will just do that student's row, or you can do the whole group. Now what it will do is, you'll see here it's created a link to their feedback. So if I click on that and go to the link, this is the actual document that the student will receive, okay, with their feedback in it. So you can see how it's laid out. It's pulled through the information that you've entered earlier. And here, if you wanted to, you could add additional formatting. So if you wanted to make something into a bulleted list, you could do that here. You can change the colour of text. So you've got things like, you can make things stand out a bit better, you can make things bold. You could add hyperlinks into this area, so you can have multiple hyperlinks. So this is where you can change the appearance and make it more attractive for the learner. Anything that you enter here, though, will not get fed back into that sort of master spreadsheet that's behind. So you'd edit that if you needed to, and then you'd go on to the next student and you'd do that and you'd work your way through. Once that is done, what we then need to do is release the feedback for the students. So just at the moment they don't get to see this. It's only at this point here that they get to see it. Now the options of just releasing feedback will put a copy into their Google Docs area, or these bottom two options will actually send them an email as well. So most likely we'd be using the email option. So if I chose that one there, it would put a copy of that file into the student's Dropbox, into the student's Google account, and send them an email with a link to it. So that's the most likely scenario. And that's a quick summary of how we can use the fast feedback tracking system.